you grew up on a dairy farm, and I've heard you speak about watching the footy, and then at halftime you'd go out and try and replicate the players. Who were some of the players you tried to replicate?
I was a Sydney supporter, so for me, it was pretty cool kind of playing against them. Like Luke Parker was someone that I loved growing up, but Adam Goods always had Adam Goods or Brett Kirk's number on my back, 31 or 37, Sydney Swans jersey. So two different players. One's a very, like if you're looking at Goods, he's very athletic, skillful kind of player, and then Brett Kirk was you're very much your heart and soul, tagger, physical kind of grunt player, which was I really admired that. Like he was captain. I don't know why, even from a young age, I just loved kind of the way he went about it, which is cool. But they were the kind of guys, and I was doing a lot of kind of Sydney stuff out there. But any time there was a game on, whether it was West Coast and Adelaide or something like that, I'd go out and be one of those teams and stuff like that. So it kind of changed depending on who was playing. But I was imitating a lot of different teams at that point. That's for sure.
Yeah, and you got your brother Jai. He's at the Hawks now, and then Liam as well. He had a trial at Fremantle a few years ago. Very talented family. What's it like? Did you growing up with them? I'm sure they would have been involved as well. And what's that been like going through the journey with them?
It's been really cool, especially kind of the last kind of 4 or 5 years as they've kind of gotten older as well. And kind of being the oldest brother, I was kind of trying to beat them up in the backyard and stuff a bit, and would never try and let them beat me, and never wanted to kind of show any weakness or any let them get on top at all. So that was tough for mum and dad at times, because I'd want to get them out there playing cricket and footy with me, and then I'd just smack them around the park or beat them up or whatever it was, and then they'd kind of go inside upset, and mum and dad would just be like, mate, we know you're 2 years older than them, we know you can beat them, just let them win. And like, no way, why would I do that? And so as I kind of grew up, you kind of understand that if you want them to keep playing with you and keep bowling to you or keep batting to you in the backyard, you got to let them have a few wins here and there. Otherwise, they'll just kind of go inside. So that was interesting growing up. But yeah, we had a lot of fights, a lot of good times in the backyard. No doubt we helped each other get better. That's for sure. But yeah, seeing kind of what they've been able to do over the last couple of years, both different pathways to me and different pathways to each other, and that's kind of the beauty of it, I guess. We've all kind of taken our different paths, but both going really well, and they're both a bit taller than I am, so can't give them too many tips. One's playing key forward, one's playing key back, so I can't really tell them how to use your body work as a key forward or key back, but it's cool. We kind of bounce things off each other, and they're going really well, working really hard, so it'll be good to kind of see them go well over the next couple of years.
So who would win the wrestle now then?
Well, I still bench press more than Jai, so I'll take me. I'll say I would, but
nice. Yeah.
He's a big boy now. He's playing key back, so he's put on a bit of weight, but I'd still have Liam easy, I reckon. He trained with us. He laid a couple of big tackles on me though, the bugger he year when he came over for pre-season, but I still reckon I'd have him. But Jai'd be a good battle, but I think I'd just have him for another 6 months until he gets in the off season and puts on some more weight again, I reckon.
Well, hopefully you guys will be playing against each other. That'll be nice, won't it?
Yeah, we played against each other in last round last year.
Yeah.
Against when we played Hawthorn, so that was.
Was that his debut?
That was he played a few games, but it was his first full game for the year last year, and that was pretty cool. I was trying to talk to him at times, and as you know, I can be pretty chatty out there on the field, and that's turned. I'd like to think to kind of funnier things rather than angry comments, but I don't think I'm that funny either, so I'll just try and talk out there. But I was trying to say some stuff to Jai when when one of our boys was having a shot, and he just ignored me, looked straight through me and didn't even give me anything, and I was like, all right, that's the way it's going to be. And then I tried to check his run and kind of blocked for one of our forwards, and he's kind of put his elbow up and just gave me a massive dead arm, and I was like, oh, this bastard. But he that was a really kind of special day, to be honest. Mum and Dad had Hawthorn and Freo scarves on, and it was a pretty emotional day for Mum, I think, kind of seeing us both out in the MCG together, which was cool. Got a nice photo before the game, but we took the chocolate, so I'm 1-0 up on him, so we'll take that.
Very nice. And now going on to, obviously you've done so much, and people say that, if you're not in Melbourne, you're a lot more low profile, but you're still getting a lot of attention, aren't you? Walking around in Perth, I'm sure everyone recognises you, and that stardom is something that's sort of come into your life now. What's that sort of been like, and adjusting to that sort of transition of people noticing you more and then asking for more photos? Then who knows? You'd know better than anyone. What's that all been like?
Well, like Perth's, it's funny, like people don't realise when you're in Melbourne, like obviously Melbourne's the footy heartland of Australia, and 10 teams, and it's massive here, but Perth, footy's number one in Perth. Like it's massive, and there's 2 teams, so it's isolated. It's very much West Coast or Freo, and but footy's just loved just as much over there, and it's amazing. Like we've got some amazingly passionate fans, and West Coast are the same thing, and there's fairly big rivalry between the two. But I think for me, the way I've kind of looked at it is as I was growing up, if I saw an AFL player or someone like that, and I kind of that would have made my day if they had a photo with me or signed something for me or whatever it is. So anytime you kind of have those interactions with fans or people that either just saying g'day or saying good luck for the game, or like just a local cafe, or they're asking about how the club's going or whatever it is, or if it's a little kid coming and asking for a photo, it's for us that's just a moment, but for these people that could make their day or make their week or whatever it is. So kind of understanding the role that we can play in that, and for me that's a privilege, and that really humbles me, and just kind of understanding the impact you can have on others and fans and stuff is pretty cool. So it's different. It can take some adjusting sometimes, but it's always pretty positive. Not many people are coming up and telling you how bad you're going. It's always pretty positive, especially where I kind of live in Freo. We've got a lot of Freo fans, so it's good.
You're a very popular man. Not many people are going to say bad things, but if it's an Eagle supporter, different story potentially.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like in Freo, there's a lot of Freo fans.
Yeah.
There's not heaps of West Coast fans, so it's a pretty kind of safe environment. I reckon if there was an Eagles fan saying something, there might be a Freo fan just over there really chime in and support me. But it's we love the rivalry. It's great, obviously. We've won the last 4 or 5 derbies, which has been good. But before that, they'd won a shitload in a row. So it's a really good rivalry. There's a lot of feeling and a lot of heat in it, which is great, but a lot of respect as well.
Yeah, what is that rivalry like in Perth? Can you go into more detail about that, and how would you describe it?
Yeah, it's a big rivalry. It's obviously at the moment, like both teams, like last year, both teams weren't kind of in the 8 and weren't playing super footy. But when both teams are up and running, like it is a heated rivalry, and the fans come out, and it's. I remember about 3 years ago, I reckon we were. I was kind of when we won our first one after they'd won kind of 8 or 9 in a row, and it was pretty intense. Like we were, I think, still just in the race for finals, and they were kind of in the 8, and it was kind of round 21, and it was heated, like it was hot, and the fans really buy into it and really get into it. But kind of my first year before I played my first one, I searched up on YouTube kind of Western Derby kind of highlights or whatever. First thing that come up was the big scrap, like the big fight that was kind of mid-2000s, and you kind of look at it, and then you kind of start speaking to a few people, and you speak to like Justin Longmuir, who played footy there, Matthew Pavlich, these kind of guys, and you hear about kind of the start of that and how West Coast was so successful, and Freo were just coming to the league, and we kind of were the little brother that got pushed around for a long time, and now we see this as our time to really put our foot down and kind of have the success now that we want, and over the next few years, and you understand kind of the history behind it, and what kind of happened throughout, and why there's such a big rivalry. I think both clubs can say they don't love the other one, but the respect is there. But you want to win those, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I'm sure the way the West Australia paper has been covering AFL this season, since Harley Reid's come in, it might even, who knows what it's going to sort of be built up like this season. But how have you seen the Harley Reid coverage? Like, you were in his shoes at one stage. You weren't number one draft pick. You were pick 8. But for him, there was coverage of you. But now for him and what you're seeing from the coverage that he's getting, what are your thoughts on it?
I've never had to deal with what he's dealing with at the moment. He's on the back page a fair bit, and I kind of somewhat feel for him. Like, he's played one AFL game and he's kind of getting either pumped up or scrutinised or whatever you want to look at it. And for him, he's probably just thinking, I want to play footy. And but I've got no doubt there's a lot of people in his corner really helping him out, and that's going to be kind of crucial to making sure he still gets the best out of himself, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure he's okay as a person firstly, and then playing good footy after that. And if that's the case, then people can write whatever they want, but as long as those things are kind of at the forefront of any kind of situation, you look at it and you go, yeah, they'll be okay. But I've got no doubt there'll be people in his corner making sure that's the case, and kind of protecting him if they need to. But I think he's going to be a pretty good player for a while. So just making sure he's dealing with it all right. But yeah, it's interesting. It's tough. Like, if that was like if you're training or whatever and you're getting chucked on the back page, if you come for the corky or whatever it is, it's tough. Everything you're doing is getting scrutinised. But there's a reason for it. He's a highly touted player, and the way that the media landscape's going at the moment, it's getting covered more. The way AFL's going, the new CBA, everything, there's going to be more access to players, and that's great because it's going to grow the game. But we just got to make sure we keep looking after the players as well.
So, have you had a bit to do with it? Because you guys played against West Coast in the practice game. You would have seen a bit of media. Yeah, like, have you been asked about him? Like, obviously you're getting asked now, but have you had any sort of, you seen it and spoken about it at the club? Because it's been a big story over this off season. I'm sure it's been mentioned in the Freo change rooms.
Yeah, it's been interesting. Like, yeah, it gets mentioned. You kind of like, especially when it gets highlighted, like how many times he's been on the back page and stuff. But it's mainly kind of just like the poor bloke hasn't played a game of footy yet, like throughout the preseason and stuff, and it's a little bit comical and stuff like that. But you kind of don't worry about it too much. I said at the start of the kind of interview, we haven't had too many people at our training throughout the preseason, and we've been flying under the radar, and we've been loving that. So they've kind of been at the West Coast training, watching him train and watching them train and stuff, and we're okay with that. We'll just keep going about our business and focusing on us.
So, taking a break from footy, Nick Dacos, he spoke about a secret spot to escape is the ocean for him. For you, what is that?
It's interesting. A few things, like, that's probably something that I've been trying to invest in a little bit, and that space away from footy and that balance, because it's so important, because it can get consumed by footy a fair bit. And for me, it's nothing, not one thing, but it's kind of ways that I can just not think about footy, and that's spending time with kind of my partner and my dog and stuff, and taking the dog to the dog park is always a great one, just to see her running around and enjoying herself. That's always fun. But me and my partner love kind of trying new restaurants and food and stuff. And for me, I really like cooking. I'm no Christian Petrarca or Cam Zerha. They're pretty impressive, but I really enjoy kind of just investing time in cooking and trying new recipes and stuff. That's one way that I can really switch off and just invest in what I'm doing, because at the end of the day, whatever it is, like, the outcome you're looking for is to be able to switch off from footy and just invest in 100% your focus in something else, and just tune out. And for me, that's one way that I can do it. But kind of any way that you can kind of think about that. Sometimes just hanging out with mates and going to coffee and stuff. But it's so important, because like I said, even just with the way that everything's going, it's just everything's highlighted so much more, so you need to be able to switch off, otherwise you drive yourself crazy.
And your sneakers, or what do you got on today? I know you like your sneakers.
Yeah, got the Yeezys on. I've got a fair few pairs at home. I think I'm just ticked over 50 now. So
wow.
My birthday last year, my my partner and my brother set up a shoe room for me at home and put some kind of things up on the wall, some shelves on the wall that I've now can kind of display some of them. But yeah, I'm trying to just simmer on buying any new ones for the moment, just until I feel like I really deserve a treat and can buy myself another pair. But yeah, it's something that I really enjoy, kind of investing a bit of time and money in sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I've seen a little bit through the media team. They've put up a few nice content and stuff. What are your favourite pair? What's your favourite pair?
I'm a massive Yeezy man. So Adidas Yeezys are kind of my go-to. They're the ones I got the most of. I got a few 350s, 500s, 700s. Good kind of mix across the board with those. And then, yeah, just your Adidas Forums as well. Got a few of those. They're always a good kind of sturdy option. And then got some couple of designer pairs of Off-Whites. I love Off-White. Their clothes and shoes are pretty sick. They're one of my favourite brands. Just behind Adidas. Adidas are number one.
Is that a sponsor?
Maybe.
I like it. Well, they can sponsor Head Over the Footy. We're looking for a few sponsors.
Yeah, we'll get on them. Adidas, get around them.
Absolutely. I want to speak a little bit about, obviously, the way you've transitioned through the years has been unbelievable. And just breaking through to new levels, what have you found has been the key to doing that and really taking your game up and up?
I think it's different each year, but the overall kind of mindset of it is how can I get better, and asking that question, whether that's every day or kind of at the end of the season, and reviewing the season pretty honestly and openly. And I feel like that's something that I've been good at, is understanding where my strengths are and where my kind of weaknesses are and where I need to get better, but also like where my strengths are and where my game kind of starts. And that's kind of been something that I've been able to kind of explore over the last 12 to 18 months. And I was touching on it earlier about the contest, and that's a big kind of focus for me. But each year's kind of been a different focus, a different thing that I've taken into pre-season. But that pre-season time is a time where you can experiment and try things and get better. But I think this year it was kind of around the physical side of it, and last year was very much mental and doing a lot of work with a sports psychologist and working in that space, which I'm still doing now. But something kind of different this year has been the speed and power focus that I've had over the pre-season. I feel like 4 years in the system, I've got a really good base and foundation of fitness and strength, and I was able to get a little bit more specific this pre-season, off-season about some different, I guess, kind of stuff to do in the gym and training, things and exercises and focuses that I could do that would be a bit more specific and helping with speed and power and my running and being able to kind of burst away and stuff like that. And it's not something that's a big strength for me or something that is like I said, a strength or a weapon yet, but it's something that if I kind of can bring that up, it's going to allow me to make the most of my disposals and damage more and be able to help our forward line, because I'll be able to kind of get more space and be able to give myself more time with the footy. But that's kind of been the focus this pre-season. But yeah, it comes back to just each day asking yourself the question, how am I going to get better today? And then that allows you to then get purpose out of each day and each session and each moment. So that's the simple side of it.
And one aspect of the game, tackling and concussions being a talking point, but they have, there's all these parameters being sort of brought in about tackling and protecting the head. Charlie Gill, who's helping us out today in the background here, he mentioned tackling and he was talking about, have they spoken to you guys in the off season about techniques and changing the way you tackle, or has that been sort of a more minor thing and just a little tweak?
It's probably been more minor, but you kind of see the trend of what's happening and the focus on it, and it's so important, concussion and what's happening in that space at the moment, and us being a real role model for the way that people kind of see it across the country and way that people play footy. But We know that kind of if the obligations on the player tackling to really protect the goal with the ball, and that's a clear focus of the AFL. And for us, we've done a lot of work on kind of wrestling and jiu-jitsu and tackle technique in the four walls, but not a heap that's kind of been spoken about from the AFL or anything or mandated, but it's something that we want to really focus on. And kind of you want to be a really good tackling team, but there is technique to it and making sure you're not slinging guys to the ground. And there's a lot more of a focus on tackling, I guess, without just dropping them to the ground and stuff like that. So a little bit more nuance to it now, but the focus is still to kind of tackle them. And it's tough sometimes, the line out there. You live, like I said, you're living on the edge, and sometimes guys go over, and it's unfortunate. But if you've got the mindset of kind of looking after the guy with the ball and protecting him, then more often than not, you'll make the right decision.
Fremantle, it's been so good to you, it seems, and obviously, you've produced really good performances. You mentioned, from the get-go, as soon as you arrived, it felt like family. And I'm sure there's been a lot of people that's been a part of that. But like Jocelyn Longmuir, your coach, he just signed on for a year, which is great for the club. But what's he been? He's obviously, your coach, so a key member of, your stay at St Kilda and your whole journey there, and what's happening now.
Yeah, he's been amazing. He's someone that is a connection-based coach, relationships-based coach at the forefront, and on the back of that, he is an incredible football mind. And kind of when someone cares, you kind of you're more open to listen and learn from that person. And he's someone that everyone knows he cares about the individual, about the team, and about the club. Obviously, ex-player of the club as well, so he's got a lot of passion and I guess, want for this club to have that success. So that passion and love's there. But then, his footy X's and O's is incredible, and sometimes he's got to kind of dumb it down for the players because he's so smart, and he understands the game at such a high level that his game plan and the roles that are being played and stuff, it's now at a point where it's so clear for us as players, and he's able to educate that. But I was kind of went away with him in the off season to America, and spent some time with him kind of away from a football. And obviously we learned a lot over there and visiting different teams, and there's a group of us, but kind of getting to know him and connecting with him on a level away from footy was pretty cool as well, because he wants nothing more than for this team to succeed. And the way he's kind of approached his pre-season, being out of contract kind of after this year initially, and he's been slammed by the media, and we understand that's all part of it, and we didn't perform last year, so we understand the coach is the one to take the rap for that at times, but we've now got an obligation and a responsibility to put his game plan out there and put it on show, because I've got no doubt it's a successful and a winning one. It's just on us players now to put it out there.
And sometimes the media just goes off on an absolute tangent, writing all these stories. How much of it is true sometimes? Because I know a lot of the time what's inside the four walls can be, am I right in saying it can be miles away from what's on the outside and being said in the media? Yeah,
definitely. I think it's always a balance, and some kind of stories you look at and you're kind of like, that's so far from the truth or so far from it. But I think those are the ones that are kind of the opinion ones, or what guys think, or whatever it is, and that's fine, and we all know that's part of it. But for us in the four walls, they're the ones we don't listen to. Like, they're the ones we don't bother ourselves with, and we know that our fans will read that, our members will read that. That's what kind of sometimes hurts us and frustrates us, that they're reading this and that's not our story. But all we can do, but we can't control that. So all we can do, we can keep telling our story, keep telling the way that we want to go about it, keep telling our truth, how we want to play, how we want to conduct ourselves, and hopefully that really connects with the fans and the members, and hopefully they see that story and see that authentic, true self and of us individually, but also as a club and as a team, because that's what we want our members to see, rather than kind of what someone in the media thinks, rather than listen to what we actually is true or what we believe.
Well, Caleb, the stories that have been written about you have been really good, and I'm sure that's going to continue. So well done for everything you've been doing. Keep up the great work, and thanks very much for coming on. It's a pleasure to have your time, so I really appreciate it, and good luck for the rest of the season.
No worries, Hatcher. Thanks, mate. It's great to be on here. It's good to see you doing great things, so can't wait to see what's next.